All right, guys, let's see what we can do with this paper. Number one, which of the following statement is true about Jamaica and Cuba at the time of the Columbus arrival inhabited by the Taínos? Two, which of the following best describe the religious practices of the Columbus and the Taínos? And that is C, nature worship and ancestor worship. Let's move on to three, which of the following statements are true of the Columbus? One, they settled in mainly Cuba. Two, they adopted many Taínos customs. Three, they were skilled sailors and fishermen. And four, they were fiercely resisted the Spanish invaders, and that is C. Number three is C. All right, let's move. Ornaments worn by the Taínos either were often made of gold, bronze, leather, or diamond. And that number five, which of the following best explain why many Calignos women spoke the Tainoan language? A, they were working the fields of the Taino women. B, girls were taught the Taino's language at their elders. Taino women are often captured by the Kalingos warrior, and that is C. Which is the correct order is the most powerful of the different social groups in the 14th? King, priest, merchant, merchant. Christopher Columbus sailed the West Indies because he wanted to prove the world was round, compete with the English, find the passage to the east. Hey, could it be this? You want to do something with the round? And which of the following island was the first Spanish settlement established? And that is C, Espanol. Let's move on to number 9. The item narrated the following statement. The authorities began the practice allowing Spaniards to collect tribute to the Indians. In return, the Spaniards had to see the Indians were protected and converted to Christianity. The practice referred to in the statement is known as encomiendo. Sorry, I'm moving once now. I think I'm moving in it. All right, 10. Which of the following statements are true of the British Caribbean colonies in the 18th century? They imported most of their food. They depended heavily on the trade with Britain. 3. They developed strong navies to defend their roots. And that's 1 and 2 only. Number 11. Last parts in the British colonies relate the ratio of the black population to the whites were called the slave trade, the French law, the navigation, and the amelioration proposal. And that is the deficiency law. 12. Which practice is most difficult made by the captive Africans to revolt during the Middle Passage? And that is C. They were separated from the members of their tribe. Number 13. Which of the following did not occur in Africa as a result of trade in enslaved Africans? And that is uniting of African under European rule. All right, so let's move on to 14. Which of the following means of protest were used by captive Africans during the Middle Passage? 1. Refusing to eat. 2. Attacking the crew. 3. Committing suicide. 4. Complaining to the captain. And that is 2 and 3 only. No. 1 included. So that would be C. All right, let's move on to 15. Hit the right button. Which of the following is true of the enslaved persons in the British Caribbean? A. They were encouraged by their owners to educate themselves. B. They were allowed to raise family without the owner's permission. C. They were allowed to own small properties without the owner's permission. D. They were encouraged by their master to farm a small provision of grounds. And that would be D. Let's move on to number 16. Which of the following are consequences of the Asian Revolution? 1. All slaves Africans were freed. 2. All mulattoes left the island. 3. The colony gained political independence, and that is 1 and 3 only. All slaves were freed, and the colony gained political independence. All right, so let's move up to number 17. All of the following were leaders of the enslaved Africans in the Asian Revolution, except Deslandes, Bookman, Christophe, or Napoleon. And number 17 is Napoleon. Number 18, which of the following was not a similarity between the Maroons of Jamaica and those of Suriname? And that's A. They both signed peace treaties with the British. Number 19, the Free Colored of the Sandama revolt in 79 because they were dissatisfied with the status in their society, rightfully so. 20. A major cause of the Bussa Revolt of 1860 in Barbados was the belief of emancipation was being delayed. All right, so let's move up to 21. Lord Mansfield is most closely associated with the declaration that A, slavery was illegal in England, B, slave trade were unlawful, C, the enslaved were brothers, D, slavery was legal in the crown colonies. And 21 is A, slavery was illegal in England. Which of the following was the main purpose of the political amelioration? And that's D, to improve the conditions of the enslaved in the British Caribbean. Let's move up to 23. Which of the following were again objectives of the British government in introducing apprenticeship system? 1, prepare for former enslaved of full freedom. 2, prevent a large-scale exodus of Africans from the estate. 3, to facilitate transition from enslavement to freedom. And that is B, 1 and 2 only. All right, so let's move up to 24. Stipendiary magistrates were appointed mainly to. I think I should just go straight to the answer for this one, guys. And that is C, 2, 3, and 4. 25. Which of the following factors encourage the formal? Which of the following factors encourage a formerly enslaved person to remain on the estate in Antigua and Barbados? That is C, 2 and 3 only. All right, so we missed 26, so let's go back on 26. Which of the following groups were mainly used by the British Caribbean planters as immigrant workers in the period after 1833? Africans, Indians, Chinese, or the Europeans? And that is the Indians. So let's move up to 27. All right. Most Chinese immigrants were brought to the British Caribbean during the period, and that would be 1850 to 1900. So that's B. Guyana and Trinidad receive a larger number of Indian immigrants than other Caribbean colonies, mainly because, I'm going to go straight to the answer. A, the planters' both colonies needed more laborers. 29. Which factor best explains why East Indians did not return home after the period of indentureship was over? Jesus Christ. A, some of these accepted grants of money or land. People always love money, you see that? All right, let's move up to 30. We're halfway there, guys. Like button. The majority of immigrants brought to the work in the British Caribbean in the years between emancipation and the First World War was employed as A, shopkeepers, B, factory, and small farmers are unskilled laborers, and that would be D, unskilled laborers. 31. Which of the following best explain why missionary helped the formerly enslaved persons to create villages? And that is A, villages facilitate church and school. 32. There were more free villages in Jamaica than there were in Barbados, mainly because in Jamaica land were more available for settlement. So 32 would be A. Big up. 33. The group of territories contain most Crown Island, and that is Guyana, Jamaica, and let's repeat. So let's go. Guys, can you keep up? Can you find the answer before me? 34 for the following information. William Knibb foresaw that planters would try to force extra work for their free laborers by increasing rent and homes of their estate. To which territory is the statement referring to? Guyana, Jamaica, Barbados, or Trinidad and Tobago? And that is Jamaica. 35. What action did Knibb take to assist freed Africans to acquire land? And that would be C, establish free villages. All right, so let's move up to 36. Item 30 is referred to the following quotation. And if apple served by the tempest from its native tree cannot choose but fall to the ground, Cuba, incapable of self-support, can gravitate toward the North American Union in Eric Yuan from Columbus Castro. By which agreement did the USA make Cuba gravitate towards the North American Union? And that's A, 7. Which of the following was the immediate cause of the US declaration of war against Spain in 1898? That one is a repeat also. And that is B, the US main was blown in the Havana Harbor. I think someone was saying something like that in the comment section. Big up, big up, big up. 38, which of the following situation was the result of Puerto Rico becoming Commonwealth in the 1952? And that is B, Puerto Rico became self-governing country associated with the United States. All right, let's move on to 39. Fidel Castro overthrew the government of Fulgencio Batista by Woo! Voila. B, joining forces with the foreign powers. Guys, I cannot pronounce these. I need some Spanish class now. Which of the following did the United States view as a valid reason to intervene in the internal affairs of the Caribbean countries in the early 20th century? 1, prevent foreign intervention considered harmful to the U.S. investment. 2, promote orderly and stable government in the region. 3, to ensure the approaches to the Panama Canal. And that is all 3. Let's move up to 41. Which of the following was not true about the West Indian disturbance in the 1930s? And that they were supported by the foreign agitators. 42. Which of the following statement best describe the focus of the Moyne Commission? And that's to investigate the economic and social political situation in colonies and make recommendations. So 43 now. During the post-1938 period, trading units in the British Caribbean sought mainly to C, to improve wages and living conditions for workers. 44, Marcus Garvey, one of the greatest black men to ever live, is best remembered for his A, participation of the 1937 riot, B, teaching of the black nationalism, 3, C, deportation from the United States, or D, association from the trade union movement. And I'm gonna go with, whoa. I don't think that's, I'm not gonna say that. And it's definitely B, teaching of the black nationalism. 45, which of the following factors were responsible for the general unrest of the British Caribbean during the 1930s? 1, a high level of unemployment. 2, the inadequate of education system. 3, an increase in awareness of justice towards workers. And that is our 3. 46, in which order did the following countries gain political and Jamaica, Guyana, Grenada, Jamaica, Guyana, Grenada, and that is E. That's a repeat question. Let's go. Like one, Jamaica decided to withdraw from the Federation. 48, the first Caribbean country to gain independence was Haiti. Big up. Yeah, we make no freedom. 49, under Crown Colony government, the colonial office expected its government and of other officials to, and that's D, to cooperate with wealthy planters in governing colonies. And we are at 50, only 10 to go after this. Which of the following Caribbean territories were assimilated by the France in 1946? And that would be Guadeloupe, French Guiana, and Martinique. Hold on, guys. Colonialism may be described as, this is a repeat one, settlement of exploitation of one country by another, and it's going on today. Which of the following statements describe universal adult suffrage? And that would be A, the right of all citizens of specified age to vote. Yeah, more vote for the idiots. In which area of the African continent was the transatlantic trade in captive Africans mainly conducted? And that should be West Africa. All right, so let's move on to 54. If you like button if you have not, subscribe if you have not. Which of the following countries have never been colonized by Spain? Cuba and Jamaica, Trinidad, St. Kitts and Antigua, or is it Panama and Puerto Rico? And that's St. Kitts and Antigua. Let's move up to 55. On charts, stress this out. 55 refer to the following chart, which is brown sugar production of 4 Caribbean countries. 1, blah, 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 blah. Which of the following trends production between 1815 and 1894 indicated the chart above? So in 1850, 79, then 8, then 8, then that. All right, let's see what they are saying now. All territories experienced growth between 1815 and 1892. No, in 1828, that wasn't the case. All right, so we can eliminate that. B, sugar production declined all of the territory. No, the slowest period of growth of territory 2 was between, so that's territory 2, between 1828 Slowest period of growth of Territory 2 was between 1828 and 1880. That's not correct. 3, 4, the sugar production in Territory 1 declined steadily. Territory 1 declined steadily between 1815 and 1894. Yeah, this is it. Downward from 79. All right, so that would be D. All right, so like button, guys, want to finish it now. What was the correct order in which the abolition process? Fast for finish this. And that's the abolition of slave trade, amelioration, emancipation, and then apprenticeship. The last page, which of the following persons is not associated to the place where he is spared: Marcus Garvey, Jamaica; Henry Morgan, Porter Royal; Thomas Warner, Trinidad and Tobago. That should be C. Toussaint Louverture, that's 80. All right, which of the following British Caribbean territories was first granted adult suffrage? Is it Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and Trinidad or Guyana? And that should be Jamaica. 59, in which of the chronological order did the following industries develop in the Caribbean? Tobacco, sugar, banana, petroleum, tobacco. So that is what? C. 60. Which of the following factors would have been least likely to influence the British Caribbean leaders to seek independence? A, the examples of the French Caribbean leaders who favored Commonwealth status. Do enjoy the video, guys. You can watch it again. See you guys in another video. This is Lance Benito. No doubt. See you guys in another video.